This is it, no going back now. Oh my god, what have I done? Okay guys, the time has finally come. Everything you've seen so far on my channel I have basically in some way experienced, like 500 piece puzzles, 1000 piece puzzles, 2000 piece puzzle even. I do challenges here and there, but basically everything is like my comfort zone. What you're gonna see today is outside of my comfort zone, let's just say that. So you know what the deal is, when I reach 3000 subscribers, I do a 3000 piece puzzle. So here I am thanking every single one of you again. I know I've just done a 2K one, but that's because, you know, the walls and everything, I was so late that they are maybe too close together. But at least this time I'm on time. So again, I want to thank every single one of you for supporting me, for, you know, following my journey. I couldn't have done it without you. And if you want to support me a bit more, you can also become a member. Obviously, that's payable, so I'm not making you do anything, but just in case you want to, you've got the join button below. Moving on to the puzzle now, which is the star of basically this video. So I have no idea how to tackle this puzzle. I have no like time reference of how long it's supposed to take me. I'm not gonna say like, oh, if a 1000 piece puzzle takes me on average 5 hours, this is gonna take me 15, because I know that when you have more pieces, it's so much more time consuming to look through all of the pieces. So I kind of designated like 3 days for me to do this puzzle if I want to get the video out this week. In case I don't finish the puzzle in 3 days, then you're gonna get the puzzle haul first and then this one is gonna follow. So I don't want to go about this video like I usually do, you know, every time I take a break I record my progress, because I think there's gonna be a lot of breaks. So what I'm basically gonna do is just record like a time lapse for every day, do like a voiceover for it, just so, you know, I can tell you what was happening. And then every next morning I'm basically gonna be sitting here talking about the experience a little bit, showing you the progress and then moving on to the next day. So I'm basically gonna split it by days because I have no idea how long it's supposed to take me. And honestly, the one thing, oh, I didn't even tell you what the puzzle is yet. So it's a 3000 piece puzzle by Ravensburger, and the title of this one is Tigers in Paradise. So basically the one thing that really freaks me out, right? My sister has divided this puzzle because she's already assembled it. So she divided it into 4 sections. Basically, she split the puzzle in 4 sections and marked every single section. So it's basically 4 750 piece puzzles. And there comes a time where I'm supposed to mix that and I'm really worried. Like, I'm thinking like, can I at least do the sorting without mixing it? But then, I don't know. I mean, I know there's no cheating in puzzling, obviously, but I want to experience like how it is to do a puzzle as like a 3000 piece completely mixed up puzzle. So here we go. Let's do this. Oh god. Okay. This is it, no going back now. Oh my god, what have I done? No, I think it's gonna be okay. Like, many of you have done 3000 piece puzzles. I think I'm gonna be fine. I'm not completely sure what to do with sorting because it's quite a large puzzle and it feels like if I just do like a detailed sorting, it's gonna take me... It usually takes me about half an hour to do a 1000 piece puzzle, so I'm assuming like hour and a half, which is, you know, it just seems like it's gonna be painful. And I'm not sure I want to go through with it. So I think I'm gonna do just like the obvious sections first. I'm probably gonna, well, definitely gonna separate the edge because I want to start with the frame. And then I'm probably gonna divide like the gradient sky, the sea, well, the lake, I don't know what that is, flowers at the bottom. I think like just obvious colors, they're gonna pop up, like, you know, the green and the tigers probably. I'm just gonna do that quickly and then leave everything else for later. Like, I'm not even sure how much I'm supposed to get it done in 1 day in order to finish in 3 days. For any one of you who doesn't know, I forgot to mention, but I basically made a poll between the 2 3000 piece puzzles that I've got, and this one is the one that got the most votes. That's why I'm doing it. And I want to thank every single one of you who voted for this puzzle, because the other one, like, if you think this one is scary, the other one is way scarier because you can't even sort it. So I'm really happy that you picked this puzzle. And oh, I'm seeing some connected pieces. I'm gonna hold on to those. Definitely not separating them. So yeah, I'm basically gonna move everything to my dining table, and yes, I have measured it. It's gonna fit the puzzle. And yeah, I think it's time for the fun to begin. The fun. Okay, so how do you start with a 3,000 piece puzzle for the first time? Well, let me tell you, I have no idea. It took me a long time to actually get going because just the thought of sorting the puzzle was putting me off because I knew it's gonna take me like an hour and a half to do it. So I decided I'm just gonna do like a half sort. But then when I actually started doing it, it was quite obvious to sort certain sections. So I basically did the full sorting. Like, it did take me 1.5 hours like expected. And I'm actually quite okay with it because I think the assembly is gonna be a lot easier after the sorting is complete. Obviously I had to start with the frame, it's just something I do, but I didn't like complete the frame because I wanted to do the top section first because I thought it was the most obvious section to start with, and then I decided I'm gonna move the top section up and then do the bottom section just so I don't have to reach over, because this is, well, it's not a giant puzzle, it has to be over 4,000 pieces to count as a giant puzzle from what I've heard. So it's not a giant puzzle, but it's big enough that it's really difficult to see the top section once, you know, the frame is complete. So that's why I decided to do the sky before completing the frame. And then I moved down to do the flowers, and the yellow ones were actually really easy to put together. But then I moved to the purple ones. I think they're lupins, the same as at the competition. I'm not completely sure, but oh my god, that was difficult. Like, it was quite late for me already and I was a bit tired, so I was just like, I'm gonna leave that for tomorrow. So yeah, my thoughts about the 3,000 piece puzzle, well, I don't know what to tell you. Honestly, it's very intimidating. I know I said that the crypt puzzle is more intimidating than the 3,000 piece puzzle. And let's be honest, like, I haven't even used the box yet. But basically it's just, there's so many pieces. And I have no idea, it's not difficult, I don't know how to explain, but like, you still got sections, it's just the sections are so much bigger. And if I didn't do the sorting well, it's gonna become really difficult to, you know, complete certain sections. But what I'm hoping to do is basically, once I finish the flowers, that's gonna be like the goal for today. So try to do the bottom section with the flowers, then do like the sea or the lake, I don't know what it is, but like the watery bits. If I manage to finish those two together, then on day 3 I would move to the tigers. I don't know why, but I just decided the tigers get like their own day because there's just so many puzzles. But then one thing that scares me is like there's gonna be so much empty space with like unsorted pieces. I'm just hoping that when I get to that point that I'm gonna learn the puzzle already, so I'm gonna be able to see different textures and all of that stuff, so it's gonna make it like maybe doable to do extra sorting with extra leftover pieces. But yeah, so far like I am enjoying it. I can feel that I have a little bit of pressure doing it because I wanted to do it as a next video. You know, I said if I do it in 3 days, it's gonna come out next week. If I do it in more than 3 days, then it's gonna have to come up the week after. Yeah, so I think I just put like a little bit too much pressure on me because I wanted to get it out by next week, but today I decided I'm just gonna take it easy because I want to enjoy the puzzle and I actually want to give you like an honest experience. And if I put time pressure on me, it's not gonna be like, it's gonna be an honest experience, but it's gonna be honest pressured experience, if you know what I mean. The reason why I decided to do on-screen recording every day is because I kind of want to give you real-time experience or like the feelings that I'm going through, because I'm just hoping that it might help someone who's scared to do that next highest number of pieces, because I'm experiencing all of these for the first time. I've never done 3,000 piece puzzle in my life. I've only done like 2,000 piece puzzles so far. Everything else was just lower numbers. And I know it can be really difficult to do the next jump. That's why I decided I want to share my thoughts, and I just hope it's gonna help some of you. I started day 2 a little bit disappointed. Well, disappointed might not be the best word to use for that, but I planned to do a bit more on day 1, but it was quite a big chunk of puzzle and it took a lot out of me. Like, I didn't puzzle for that long, I only puzzled for 4 hours. But I think it's just that unknown feeling that you have no idea how long it's supposed to take you, like how quick the progress is gonna be. And I guess I'm just used for the puzzle to progress quicker because I'm not used to doing larger puzzles. So that's definitely one thing that threw me off. So when I started day 2, I thought I'm gonna be further along than I actually was. But that's okay, I wasn't in any rush, so I just decided I'm gonna take it piece by piece, literally. But those loopings at the bottom just completely threw me off, so I decided I'm just gonna finish with them. Like, I cannot keep doing loopings anymore because I think it's too sporadic and I'm probably missing quite a lot of pieces. So when I moved on to the water, I actually realized for the first time how massive this puzzle is. Like, I literally just put all the pieces on the table, and when I was flipping them over, it literally felt like I'm at a speed puzzling competition. The amount of pieces that I had to flip over, I'm sure there was about 500 of them. And that was the first time they actually hit me how big this puzzle is. So no wonder that it takes so long, and obviously if you cannot do like very specific sorting, you can easily lose so much time by looking for some pieces that are not actually there. So I would definitely say that that's one thing that is the most different between like doing a 1,000-piece puzzle and now doing a 3,000-piece puzzle. Everything is on such a larger scale that you cannot rely on having all the pieces from a specific section. So you kind of have to let go and just move on if you get stuck. It was actually really good to have all the pieces flipped over because it was quite easy to spot the difference in the shade in the color. But I decided before I do shape sorting, I just wanted to quickly find as many pieces as I can that are really obvious, and then when I start getting stuck, I'm gonna just shape sort after. Then I decided I want to try going from the sky further down, but when I flipped all the pieces over again, like doing another 500-piece puzzle, it's insane. Like, I have never experienced anything like that when puzzling. Welcome to day 3 of the puzzling. So I expected I'm gonna be a bit further along by this point, but basically I've got the top of the box here because obviously the puzzle is away. But I just brought it here because I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the picture. So loopings, I mean, I feel sorry for everyone from Group A at the competition. This is insanity. This is probably gonna be the last thing that I do. So basically I've done the grass bits, I've done the flowers, the sky is done, the water is done. So I don't know what to do next. Like, I brought all the purple pieces out because I thought it's like the most sensible thing to do. But when I started putting them together, it actually wasn't as easy as I thought it's gonna be. But maybe if I do shape sorting, it might, well, it definitely will make it easier. I'm just not completely sure if I've got like the majority of the pieces because there's quite a lot of different colors and we go into green and gray as well, so I'm not sure if I actually have them in order. So after I'm gonna do that, if I get stuck with it, I'm just gonna drop it. I think then I'm gonna move on to tigers. I don't know why, because furry is normally really difficult, but it just feels like when I fill in the puzzle, it might be easier to maybe do the background because the background is all green and gray and yeah, it just looks difficult. So I'm hoping that it's gonna take me about 2 more days, and I've got today and tomorrow, which is good, so I can puzzle at least 4 hours a day, and then hopefully I'm gonna be able to finish it by the end of the week, maybe even doing like 1 to 2 hours every evening when I come home. So yeah, I think it's doable. I think I can manage to get it done by next video. So I'm not gonna ask you to wish me luck anymore because I've done enough now to know that it's not actually as scary as I thought it's gonna be. Like, honestly, the thought of doing a 3,000-piece puzzle is very scary. Like, for me, like, it's my first time. So yeah, very scary, definitely. So I understand if anyone feels like intimidated by them. But really, once you start putting them together, it just takes longer. But the actual process is the same as with any other puzzle. It's just everything is so much bigger. You know, maybe in a 1,000-piece puzzle, this section would be 100 pieces, like 200 pieces. But with this one, it's like 500 pieces. So it's just, everything is just a lot larger. That's basically it. But the process of puzzling is still the same. So if you have a decent picture and a good cut, you're basically golden. Like, you have nothing to worry about. I think the most important part is basically if you can just manage to find a place where you can leave the puzzle out. Because for me personally, The most annoying part of doing puzzles and not having space to do them is when I basically shape sorted everything and then I had to put everything back. Like I did that with puzzle because I couldn't leave it out. So I had to peg everything back and then redo it, you know. And every time, like, it doesn't take that long, but it's just doing the same process that I've already done just because I don't have space to leave it out. That's a little bit annoying. So the puzzle is waiting for me, so I'm gonna head back to working on it and I'll see you soon. I continued with the top section because it just seemed like I did the sorting quite well and that I'm gonna be able to build the puzzle from up towards the middle. But as soon as I started doing that, I realized that it might not be as easy as I expected it to be. There is just such a big chunk of the puzzle that was missing and I just had no shape to go from, like nothing to help me shape sort or anything like that. So I had to give up on that because it was just taking too long and I did not move anywhere. So I thought the next best thing to do is basically to move on to tigers, because the tigers were very specific, and after I've done the water, I actually had the frame to build within, which makes it a lot easier. And even having some grass or some water left on some pieces, it was really easy to eliminate them immediately and just build that first. And then I just decided to go from the most obvious colors or the colors that stood out and decided to just build from there. It was definitely not going as fast as I thought. This is, I think, the one thing that I definitely did not expect. When doing a 3,000 piece puzzle, everything is on such a larger scale that it's difficult to have all the pieces out, but at the same time you have to have all the pieces out. Because even the tigers themselves, they could easily be like a 750 piece puzzle because there's just so many of them. And just think about it, 750 piece puzzle with tigers only, with only fur. Like, it's a lot. And you kind of like, you cannot shape sort immediately, so you kind of have to eliminate all the obvious pieces out first, because otherwise it just gets too confusing. So you kind of have to build first before you can shape sort. So I did my best to put as many pieces in as I could before I did shape sorting, but after I did the shape sorting it became a lot easier. And after that everything went a lot quicker, especially with like the mouth area, but it was still taking so many hours. I had to push into the next day because I didn't want to get frustrated with it. And I think it was good I did that because I had daylight as well, which definitely helped. And I just felt so refreshed, which was really good, because sometimes when your eyes get tired, it gets difficult to puzzle as well. So it's better to just take a break and come back to it a bit later. And after I finished the majority of the tigers, well, basically anything that I sorted from the tigers, I decided to move on to lupins now. Because lupins, in the beginning I tried to do them, it was impossible, honestly, because I had no idea how wide everything is, how tall everything is. I had no idea. But now again, because I did the tigers, it was a lot easier to just know the sections of where the pieces go, so it makes it so much easier. But I soon realized that I'm missing a lot of flowers, so I decided that I'm gonna go through all the leftover pieces and just eliminate anything that I recognize. Okay, honestly, it's more intense to put a 3,000 piece puzzle together than I thought. Like, before I went into day 3, I basically told you, you don't have to wish me good luck because I don't need it. Well, everything went downhill from there. No, just kidding. It wasn't that bad, but it's just like one of those things when all the easy sections have been done now. And everything that's left is basically shades of grey, green and purple. It's quite difficult. Like, I know I have a lot of sections still left, like with the tiger and the flowers, there's a lot of pieces missing, but it's not that easy to eliminate them. Like, it's not so obvious, but once you get to know the puzzle more and when you learn the different colors and textures, it gets a lot easier. I wasn't expecting that there's gonna be such a big difference after doing the first section, because I think the first section flew so much and then at one point it just slowed down. So I have been puzzling for about 5 more hours across 2 days, and that puts me to 13 hours now. I used up all of my days off this week, so I'm basically gonna be just like puzzling a bit in the evening, you know, before going to bed, and hopefully I manage to get far. Every time I do the sorting, I always eliminate the pieces that I think I know exactly where they're gonna go. That's, I think, a good way to eliminate a lot of the pieces, because when you get to know one section, it's so much easier to spot them when you're doing like the sorting from the larger scale. after that, because I also eliminated all the loopings, I decided to just continue doing with that and try to close the bottom section up as much as possible. I realized that I was missing quite a few pieces, so that's why I decided I'm gonna do another quick sort through the pieces that were basically left over to find any tigers leftovers or loopings leftovers or any grass sections that I'm needing. So when I was doing that, I also decided to take the waterfalls out because it was really easy to spot them because they're so white, like nothing else is white on this puzzle. One thing that I really liked about doing the waterfalls, when I started to place them in the puzzle and realized that I'm reducing the large section, like the large open section, it made me so happy because I cannot tell you how difficult it is to puzzle a large open space, especially on a bigger puzzle like this one. And it's definitely looking a lot less intimidating the more I close it up because it's just coming together really nicely. But because I did the waterfalls for the first time, I had to go through the pieces that were left again because obviously I was missing quite a few, and it's so much easier to find them when you know what you're actually looking for. And then I came to a point when I realized that I just didn't do the sorting well the first time around. So I decided to combine all the pieces that were left over and do a completely brand new sorting. So here we are doing more sorting. I told you there's a lot of sorting with large account puzzles. I decided to stick with the theme, so I brought my last black and white plaid shirt out just to match, you know, the puzzling experience so far. But basically, welcome to day 7 of puzzling, and let me just clear something out. When I say day 7, it's not actually like consecutive days, it's just the days that are actually puzzled, because the puzzle has been out for 2 weeks now. Because from what I've learned is basically that once you get into the flow of puzzling, it's a lot easier to puzzle more, you know, as opposed to like starting and stopping for like, I don't know, half an hour each day. At least for me, it works that way. One thing that I'm gonna say so far about this puzzle is that I have learned a lot doing this puzzle. First off, why did I do so much sorting in the beginning? It was completely pointless. It's just like eliminate all the obvious sections, everything else just don't bother sorting, because you're not actually gonna know the difference until you get there. And the other thing that I honestly did not expect is how much the puzzling has slowed down after I did all the obvious sections. So I really enjoyed it, but when you don't see that much progress, you kind of want to give up on working on it quicker, if you know what I mean. Like when you're spending 4 hours, for instance, and you can see that, oh my god, how much has been built, and then you spend the same 4 hours and only half of the amount was built in the same time. And I think it's just, you have to get past that point until it becomes quicker again. Because I think what I've got left now, I'm hoping that it's doable in 4 hours. Like, I kind of made my, oh yeah, I forgot to say, but the last 2 days that you've seen is basically about 3 hours combined. So I'm on 16 hours now. So I'm hoping to get it done in like 20 hours. I have no idea if it's doable, but I think from what I've seen that I've got left, because I have quite a lot of specific sections, I think it's doable, hopefully. But yeah, I basically just have like the middle section left. I don't know if I can sort this anymore. Like, I'm sure there is a way, maybe textures of green, but there's a lot of sorting. Like, I know I keep repeating myself, but there is actually quite a lot of sorting doing like larger puzzles, because normally when you do sorting you have like one off pile, and then one off pile you can easily immediately just do like shape sorting and just put the places in. But because this like off pile was so much larger, it was almost like a separate 1000-piece puzzle in itself just with those pieces. So yeah, you kind of cannot just shape sort them and start placing them in. You have to reduce it to at least 500 pieces, I would say. I don't think I need good luck, but last time I said I don't need it, it was like the hardest section of the puzzle, so I would rather say just wish me good luck, you know, and get on with the puzzling. So I have started off with the pieces that I had sorted previously, And I have to tell you, I didn't really sort them well. Like, there were a few things that kind of made sense, but it was quite sporadic across the puzzle. It was really difficult because everything at that point was like greyish, purplish, greenish. And the lines were really long, it was spread all across the puzzle, so, you know, it was really hard to find the right piece. It became a lot easier the more I put in, because then I could see the actual shape of the piece, which always helps. But after I've gone through my trace, I decided the best thing to do is just shape sort. It was quite early on. I sort of like counted the pieces. I think there was about 550 pieces. And oh my, let me tell you, that was hard. Like, I thought after I'm gonna have the shapes, it's gonna make it so much easier, but it really didn't. There was so many pieces still to go from. I had to keep changing the location of where I was puzzling because I got stuck quite quickly. So when I started to get stuck and couldn't find like one piece that I already knew the shape of, I decided, okay, that's enough, like just move on, because obviously you're not seeing anything right anymore. So I was moving around the puzzle quite a bit because, I don't know, I would assume that when you're stuck on one section for a long time and you get to learn it really well, that it becomes easier to finish it. But it seems like once you use all the obvious pieces, it becomes really difficult, so it's better to go on the other section and use the other obvious pieces on the other section, and then when you have less pieces, return to the section that you got stuck with, because you're gonna have less options and it makes it a lot easier. And yes, I went to sit on the puzzle because it was just too far for me. I couldn't really reach it. I've done it before, but it was really difficult because the bottom section wasn't complete yet. So now I made sure that I completed the bottom section so I could just sit on it, and it made it so much easier. Because for me, accessing the top of the puzzle is even difficult with a 1,000-piece puzzle, and you can imagine how much bigger this puzzle was. So yeah, I had to improvise. The best feeling in the world is when you reduce your pieces from 3 boards to 2 boards, and then from 2 boards to 1 board. So when that happened, I was just like, oh my god, I'm getting closer. Okay, it's the next morning and oh my god, I finished the puzzle. Anyway, I couldn't record last night because, you know, 4 p.m. and we've got complete darkness outside, so it doesn't look good for the video. So I had to wait for the next morning, and oh my god, it was so difficult to hold the excitement in. Okay, I finished the puzzle. Guys, I have finished my first 3,000-piece puzzle. So I have learned so much doing this puzzle, honestly, like I cannot tell you. It's so different doing a larger piece count puzzle than it is to do the smaller ones, because it's just, you have everything in front of you, everything is so much smaller, there is so much easier, well, I would say it's so much easier to see the detail, but that's not what I mean. It's like one piece has more detail on it because it's so much smaller, if you know what I mean. It's like something that you would have like on a 1 piece on a 500-piece puzzle. If you put that puzzle into like a 3,000-piece puzzle, it's gonna be, I don't know, 6 pieces having the same amount of detail than this 1 piece has on a 500-piece puzzle. I hope I'm making sense here. I have also realized that there's the same cut pattern in the half of the puzzle, so when I was doing the middle, it was a bit difficult to connect the pieces, and I saw that they're not in line either. So then I had to try, I had to basically swap the bottom section with the top section to see if it actually fits, and it does. So yeah, basically I've learned a lot, and I'm gonna help you with, giving you my knowledge from what I've learned. But it's basically like, in the beginning, definitely when you do the sorting, eliminate the frame, because this is like super important, I think, at least for myself. Like, some people might not like that, but I think it's just good when you have, especially when you have a larger puzzle, to know like the frame from when you're working within. So yeah, I would say eliminate the frame, definitely, and do the frame first. And then when you do the sorting, just go for like in the beginning just go for the really obvious colors, because you're gonna be doing so much sorting throughout the puzzle. There's just no point for you to try to figure it out in the beginning, because it just takes time and it's completely unnecessary, because you're probably gonna do it bad anyway. So yeah, one thing to look out for, definitely there's gonna be a lot of sorting, so you're just gonna have to, you know, deal with that. Like, you really cannot get past that unless you have like a really specific sectioned puzzle, then you might get away with it. But this one was definitely not it. And yeah, what else? What kind of advice for doing a bigger puzzle? It will slow down a lot. I know I've already spoken about that, but it's just once you do the initial things and you think, oh, that's actually quite cool, like I'm good at this, there will be a point when it slows down. And it slows down a lot more than with like a 500-piece puzzle or a 1,000-piece puzzle. And now, like, I have some news for you guys. Okay, so obviously, let's just start with the first one. I don't have all the details yet, but by the time the video comes out, I hope everything is gonna be out, so I can link everything in the description box below. But basically, I have found people who are gonna organize the first competition, well, I don't know if it's the first one, but the first that I'm aware of, competition, puzzling, speed puzzling competition in Slovenia. It's gonna be 10th of December at 4 p.m. in Kranj. So I'm gonna put the details in the description box below. If you're near Slovenia, if you wanna come, like, just come. I think we have room for like 20 people. Like, it's the first time doing it. I have no idea how many people is gonna come. I know my sister is gonna come. I'm gonna make her. She has no choice. And obviously I know I have some Slovenian people on the channel. So if you're watching, make sure to book it. I hope you're free so you can come. And oh my god, this will be so much fun. I think it's just gonna be one group. You're gonna have plenty of time to finish the puzzle. Obviously there's gonna be an entry fee, but you get to keep the puzzle. And I think they said they're gonna reward the first 3 places as well. So that's all up to them. I don't know what's going behind the scenes. I basically gave them the idea and they're gonna arrange everything. So oh my god, and they said if it goes well, they're gonna do it like every month. So guys, I'm counting on you. You have to come so we can do it every month. Okay, and now moving on to the other thing that I wanted to say as well, because when this video comes out, it's gonna be like 4 days before or 3 days before December. So I didn't forget, you know, this is still waiting. So the advent calendar, I had put the vote up already, so you can go and vote immediately so you don't forget. So when do you want me to start? December 1st or December the 2nd? Like, if you want 1 day delay so you don't get any, you know, spoilers. But I actually haven't opened it yet. I wanted to do that for you. That's why I was like, oh, I know it's like a 3,000, you know, subscriber special video, but there is no other way for me to do it before December, so I had to squeeze it in. So let's open it together. Oh, I'm excited to see how it is inside. Oh, exciting. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's basically just like a wrapper thingy that goes on top. Okay, interesting. So I've got a booklet. It's all in German, so I cannot tell you anything that's written on it. I don't think that's spoilers because anyone who buys the calendar can see the booklet anyway. But it says code metrics. So it's like you have a start. It seems like I'm gonna have to find solutions and walk around. Okay, maybe I should get my phone. We are testing Google Translate together now. So it says, as a solution to the puzzle, you have put out the number combination 743. The symbol for the puzzle is the green gift. Okay. I think it's gonna be a bit complicated with, you know, the Google Translate, but I think it's doable. So from what I can understand, let's see if I understand it right. If anyone has already done it, if someone speaks German, if anyone has this calendar at home, please help. Let me know if I'm doing this right. But from what I understand is basically where you have a starting point, you're gonna have every day some sort of like solutions and you're gonna know where to walk. I see. Okay, every day has a different present. Okay, I'm seeing that now. Maybe I'm not seeing that. Where are all the presents? Okay, these are the solutions. I can open them because I can't read them anyway. Like, woohoo! I'm just trying to see. There are some presents here. Oh, I see. Okay, okay, gotcha. So you've got the matrix at the back with different presents, and it tells you for every day. It says which present you're supposed to get to, I think. I really hope I'm getting this right, because this might be really difficult if I'm misunderstanding it. But I think it's right. You've got 3 metrics and you've got the presents marked on each of them. So you're supposed to get, probably you start where the start is and then you have to get to the present that is marked. Okay, that's gonna be interesting. And I've got some stickers as well. I don't know what they're for. I have an impression that it's gonna be for the puzzles. So this is basically how it looks. Okay, it's actually really pretty, I like it. I don't know how the boxes are made, like maybe you can reuse the boxes like next year, you know, I've been doing the countdown. Oh, this one only has 25 days. But yeah, you could basically use this and put like sweets inside or do another puzzle and just gift it to your friends if the boxes stay together. I think they're quite nice, yeah, they're just a normal box. So that's really cool. You can literally use that and gift another puzzle, divide it into 25 sections and just gift it to someone. Oh, this is cool. Okay, I'm liking this already. I'm just a little bit worried, like it says it's supposed to take you 10 minutes a day, approximately, and it's level 2 out of 3, so not too difficult, I guess. But I'm just a little bit worried that, I don't know, maybe because it's in German that I'm not gonna be able to understand correctly, but I'm just really relying on Google Translate on this one. If it becomes too difficult, I might just gift it to someone who speaks German. But yeah, this is basically it for today, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something new, and please don't forget to vote. Do you want me to start like on the 1st of December or with 1 day delay? So please go and vote now, don't forget. And I'll see you next time. Bye!